The announcement hit like a gut punch. March 15th, 2018. Toys R Us, the undisputed toy kingdom for generations, declared it was liquidating everything. Not restructuring, not downsizing, shutting down. Over 700 stores across America. 33,000 jobs vanished overnight. Just like that, the place where kids' eyes lit up, walking down aisles, packed with Barbies, Legos, and video games, was gone. How does an $11 billion empire, the only place dedicated solely to the magic of toys, collapse so utterly, so fast? It wasn't just Amazon. It wasn't just changing tastes. The shocking truth lies buried under mountains of debt, fatal strategic blunders, and a staggering failure to see the future hurtling towards them. This is the story of how a beloved giant, built on childhood wonder, was brought to its knees, not by a lack of love, but by crushing financial engineering, missed digital opportunities, and a management asleep at the wheel. We'll uncover the leveraged buyout that shackled them, the fatal hesitation online, and the moment vendors finally pulled the plug. This is the real autopsy of Toys R Us. Our story starts not with toys, but with baby furniture. Washington, D.C., 1948. Charles Lazarus, just home from World War II, saw the future. The baby boom was exploding. Parents needed cribs, high chairs, strollers. With a $5,000 loan, he opened Children's Bargain Town. Lazarus was a natural retailer. Obsessed with understanding his customers, he noticed parents asking for toys, and he noticed something else. Kids outgrew furniture fast, but they always wanted new toys. A light bulb moment. In 1957, Lazarus pivoted. He opened a radical new concept, a supermarket, just for toys. Rows and rows of playthings under one roof. He called it Toys R Us, playing on the idea of kids being the boss. The iconic backwards R. Pure marketing genius. It made the name unforgettable. The mascot, Jeffrey the giraffe, born from a real giraffe, spotted during a family trip, evolving from early sketches into the friendly giant. We remember, it was revolutionary. Before this, toys were seasonal, crammed into department stores at Christmas or sold in small specialty shops. Lazarus offered choice, year-round, at discount prices. He focused on volume, turning inventory quickly. Early struggles were real. Finding suppliers willing to sell you, convincing shoppers this wasn't just a Christmas pop-up. But Lazarus persisted. His insight was profound. Make the store an experience for the child. Wide aisles, low shelves, bright colors. It was a wonderland designed to ignite desire. This wasn't just selling toys. It was selling the promise of play directly to the kid holding their parent's hand. That core idea, born in a single DC store, would ignite a global phenomenon. The 1960s and 70s were pure rocket fuel. That unique model, massive selection, aggressive pricing, kid-centric focus, proved unstoppable. Toys R Us didn't just compete, it devoured the competition. By 1966, it was acquired by interstate stores, giving Lazarus capital to supercharge his vision. He expanded relentlessly, opening stores across America. The strategy was simple and brutal. Dominate through sheer scale. They became the only place manufacturers had to be. Securing hot toys, Lazarus made sure Toys R Us got the lion's share. Their buying power was immense. Remember Cabbage Patch Kids? Furby. The frenzy always centered on those Jeffree Star aisles. The 1978 IPO cemented its status as a Wall Street darling. The 1980s saw global conquest. UK, Canada, Asia. Jeffrey became a global icon. Their advertising was legendary. Who can forget the jingle? I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid. It wasn't just a slogan. It was a cultural touchstone, embedding the brand deep into childhood identity. By the early 1990s, they commanded an estimated 20 to 25% of the entire US toy market. They weren't just a retailer, they were the gatekeeper to the toy industry. The massive Times Square flagship store, opened in 2001, became a tourist destination, a neon-lit temple to play. They diversified slightly. Kids are us for clothing. Babies are us. But toys remained the undisputed heart. They seemed invincible, a permanent fixture in the retail landscape. Parents knew the pilgrimage, the overwhelming choice, the buzz of excitement, the sheer magic of possibility contained within those warehouse-like walls. They had built an empire on joy. But empires, especially those built on borrowed time and money, can crumble surprisingly fast. The first tremors were subtle, easily dismissed by a giant at its peak. The late 1990s brought a new threat, a little online bookstore called Amazon. While Toys R Us scoffed at the idea of buying toys sight unseen, Amazon invested relentlessly in convenience and selection. Big box discounters like Walmart and Target also smelled blood. They started aggressively discounting top toy brands, using them as loss leaders to lure parents doing their general shopping. Why make a special trip just for toys? Toys R Us, resting on its laurels, found its prices undercut and its unique advantage. Selection slowly matched. But the truly fatal blow came not from a competitor, but from Wall Street. In 2005, facing pressure from shareholders and slightly slowing growth, the board made a catastrophic decision. They agreed to a $6.6 billion leveraged buyout. Private equity giants, Bain Capital, KKR, and Vornado Realty Trust took the company private. On paper, it might have looked like a smart move to unlock value. In reality, it was a death sentence. The buyout was financed almost entirely with debt, loaded directly onto Toys R Us itself. Suddenly, the company wasn't paying for new stores, cutting-edge technology, or employee training. It was hemorrhaging cash just to service the interest on that monstrous debt, estimated at over $400 million annually. This financial straitjacket crippled them. Store maintenance suffered. Aisles felt dated. Warehouses creaked. Crucially, investment in their nascent e-commerce platform evaporated. They had actually partnered with Amazon in 2000 to run their online sales. A disastrous move that gave their biggest future rival invaluable insight into the toy market and customer data. When they finally clawed back control in 2006, their own digital presence was a decade behind. They simply couldn't compete with Amazon's speed, algorithms, or fulfillment prowess. Meanwhile, debt payments starved innovation. Competitors offered seamless online-offline experiences. Toys R Us stores felt like relics. The foundation, once rock solid, was now rotten timber, groaning under unsustainable financial weight. The reckoning was only a matter of time. The debt bomb finally detonated in September 2017. After years of struggling under the weight of interest payments, unable to invest sufficiently to modernize, Toys R Us filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection. They owed billions. The plan: restructure, close some underperforming stores, and emerge leaner. Management promised it was business as usual, especially for the crucial holiday season. But the bankruptcy filing spooked the very people the company depended on. Toy manufacturers, vendors like Hasbro, Mattel, and Lego, remembering the chaos of other retail bankruptcies, demanded cash on delivery or upfront payment for shipments. Toys R Us, already cash-starved, thanks to its debt obligations, simply couldn't meet these demands. Shelves that should have been bursting with holiday stock remained shockingly bare during the most important shopping period of the year. Parents walked into stores expecting wonder and found emptiness and disappointment. The crucial holiday season of 2017 was a disaster. Sales plummeted. The lifeline bankruptcy was supposed to provide snapped. The company's own bankruptcy advisors delivered the brutal verdict in early 2018. Liquidation was the only option. The announcement on March 15, 2018, felt like a collective punch to the gut. Going out of business, sales turned into macabre carnivals. Long-time employees, some with decades of service, sold off fixtures while fighting tears. Generations of customers wandered the emptying aisles, taking pictures of the Jeffrey statues, sharing memories of birthday wish lists fulfilled. "It feels like a death in the family," one shopper told reporters. The human cost was immense. 33,000 jobs evaporated. Communities lost anchors. The iconic Times Square flagship, once a beacon of childhood joy, went dark. The global empire fractured. International divisions were sold off piecemeal. The speed of the final collapse was breathtaking. Within months of the bankruptcy filing, aiming for survival, the entire US and UK operation was dismantled. The toy giant, crippled by debt and unable to stock its shelves, had suffocated. The castle made of dreams was rubble. So, where does the ghost of Jeffrey roam today? The brand name hasn't completely vanished, but it's a pale shadow. True Kids Brands acquired the intellectual property and attempted a Phoenix Act. They opened a handful of smaller, experiential stores in 2019 and 2021, focusing on interactive play areas and events. They partnered with Macy's for shop-in-shops and relaunched an e-commerce site, but these efforts feel more like nostalgia plays than a true revival. The scale, the dominance, the sheer overwhelming presence is gone forever. The legacy of Toys R Us is a stark, multi-layered cautionary tale etched into retail history. It's the definitive case study of how a leveraged buyout can strangle a healthy company. The $6.6 billion debt load wasn't just a burden. It was a terminal illness that prevented the vital investments needed to survive the digital age. It highlights the lethal cost of complacency. While competitors innovated online and optimized logistics, Toys R Us remained stubbornly anchored to its outdated big box model, failing to make its stores destinations worth the trip in an Amazon Prime world. It underscores the brutal reality that emotional connection and brand nostalgia aren't enough. You must adapt or die. The bankruptcy wasn't just about losing to Amazon. It was about a failure to evolve at all, while drowning in financial obligations created not for growth, but for private equity, profit. The empty shelves of Christmas 2017 symbolized the final, devastating consequence of that debt. The inability to even perform its core function. The story teaches us that even the most beloved institutions, built on genuine cultural connection, are fragile when financial engineering trumps operational reality and strategic vision. The empire of play didn't fall to a superior toy. It was hollowed out from within. The fall of Toys R Us is more than a business failure. It's a lesson in how quickly towering success can vanish when burdened by debt and blind to change. It teaches us that adaptation isn't optional, it's survival. Whether you're a toy giant or navigating your own career, the next time you face a shifting landscape, remember Jeffrey, Don't cling to the past. Invest in your future. What shocked you most about this story? Did you have a favorite Toys R Us memory? Or do you think the brand can ever truly come back? Share your thoughts below. If you found this deep dive into retail history compelling, give this video a like. It helps more people discover these stories. Subscribe and hit the bell for more episodes of Brand Anatomy's Rise and Reckoning series, where we dissect the dramatic fates of iconic brands. Up next, we unravel the surprising downfall of another household name that failed to read the room. Stay tuned.